Hello. I'm so glad that you reached out. This is actually a really hard subject because there's some places that have nothing, and then there's some things that have 300,000 results. So I'm going to show you three different ways of finding information on this. And again, there's probably going to be like way too much. So I'll show you ways that you can narrow it down as well. So when you go to the library homepage, um, you can type in student teacher ratio, um, and you don't have to put in any ands or quotes or anything like that. This is a natural language search like Google. And there's lots and lots and lots of things to look at. You can see that there's like 162,000 articles. It's like way too many. When I wanted to show you something how to narrow it down though. If you go to catalog, there are what we call sorting options. These are where you can go through all 300,000 articles, but you can look through for commonalities like date or subject or discipline that they are taught in. I'm going to have to move my head. So there's 300,000. That's just, that's, uh, that's daunting. It makes me nervous. It makes me laugh nervously. So these sorting results, if you need to do peer-reviewed journals only, you can do it that way. I'm going to leave this open. You can play around with these and experiment. It's really kind of fun. There's articles, there's dissertations, there's book chapters, and so on. But I'm going to move. I'm going to keep on moving down. There's the location. There's the author, but you could see there's only 3 attributed to the top author, so it's like that's not a great way. But if you go down here to subject, this is the one that I wanted. So when you go into this book, for example, the effects of student-teacher ratios on student performance, blah, 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 it will have a description of it. It'll have like the author, maybe it'll have an abstract, maybe it'll have a table of contents. That's all called metadata. And the metadata shows up for every single article or chapter or things like that. And the subjects are pulled from that metadata. So what you could do, if you click on the show more, this is taking all of those 300,000 articles and organizing them into the top keywords. So you could do education is a big one, but you could also look at a particular population, like a gender, or you could look at a particular age, or you could look at teacher's perspective or a specific thing like that. So this is something you could narrow it down with. So if we wanted to do, where was education? If you wanted to just narrow down, that brings us down to like 34,000. That's much more manageable. So that's a great way of narrowing down your search results. And you can also add keywords. So I noticed you're in a class related to policy, so you could do student-teacher ratio, add the keyword policy, and if you're looking for a particular city, like New York City or Abu Dhabi or whatever, you could see those student-teacher ratios in a very, very specific place. Let me show you some other places to look. So going back to the library homepage, I'm going to move my head again. Going back to the library homepage, there's 2 databases that I'd recommend that you look in under the database list right here. One is for education, and another one is for public policy. Both of them are really, really, really good. So if you go under the subject of databases, you can go to the College of Education. And their favorite database that the librarian has assigned to them is called Education Full Text. So this is a database of peer-reviewed scholarly articles, and it's all related to education. Policy is in here, psychology is in here, it's all related to people in education, but it's typically from that discipline of education. So let's do student-teacher ratio. Now here's an interesting thing that you have to do in these databases. Whoops, I misspelled teacher. How embarrassing. A couple of things are happening here. It's suggesting alternate or related terms like class size or what would you put this with, student learning outcomes or something like that. And also I'm putting it in quotes. First of all, the reason I put it in quotes is so instead of looking for student here and teacher there and ratio here in that metadata, right, it's going to look for that as a block of text throughout there. So that'll narrow it down. And the and is where you can put in another keyword. And so you could put student learning. I think would it be student learning? Would it be the price or the economic aspect? Would it be, are you interested in policy? Maybe we would want to do student-teacher ratio and policy instead. I'm going to copy this because I'm going to use this in another one. But if we search, this is education, discipline, journals, so it's mostly articles. And I have 1,173. Again, that's a lot to look at. You can go through these. You can say, oh, I just want to see the newest ones. And that might be one way to go. Or you can add specificity with the keywords, so and policy and New York City or Abu Dhabi or whatever you want to do. But you can also go in just to figure out what is going on in that particular topic. You can go into that subject again. But this time, instead of looking in the library catalog where it was looking at DVDs, articles, book chapters, this is just scholarship. And so this is going to be a lot more focused on those evidence-based articles. I was looking for something in your email. So there's all sorts of measurements here. So academic achievement might be something. It might be a particular population. Here's the finance one. Is it too expensive to have too few students? And so on. Teacher salaries. So you could click on the ones you're interested in and click on update and you'd get into those articles. Oh, something to tell you before I show you the last database that I would recommend. There's probably other ones you can go to, so don't let this be the end. But if you want the full text of the article, sometimes you'll get full text, like this article. Right here it says full text, and you click on that full text. But another one, it says view it. What does that mean? It means that the full text isn't in this database, but it might be in another database. So I clicked on the view it button, and that'll exist in the library databases. And it'll magically show up in the library catalog, and it'll say, okay, it wasn't in education full text. Under this yellow bar, it'll say, try looking in these databases instead. And so if I click on this one, this is one of those databases, it would hopefully send me to the article. If it doesn't, you can request it through Interlibrary Loan right here for free, or just send me an email, and I'm happy to track it down for you too and help out. Because it's not a test in college to be able to know how to do all this stuff. That's my job in part. So you get sick of me and you want to just do it on your own. Last one that I wanted to show you, which is one of my favorite databases. It's under public policy. And you could go, I don't know if we have policy or if it's on government, but it begins with the letter P. And it shows up near the top. It's called PAIS. This is a public policy. So this would be like economists and education people, MPA, public policy, MPP degrees, political science. They would look in here. So I'm going to look for student-teacher ratio, but this one I don't need to have and policy. I just want to look at student-teacher ratio. But I might want to do and education on this one as a keyword. Because it might be like student-teacher ratio and crime or something like that. 123. That's not so bad. And here, this one, you see other countries. Education full text is kind of North America centric, but this one has stuff from China, Bangladesh, all over the place, Kuwait. So these are going to be great. Oh, and US public education as well. And again, you can go in the subjects. You can go by date range. There's that find it, view it button. It's got all those same things. So do let me know how it goes, and I'm happy to help in the future. This is just a starting point. So reach out, and I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for reaching out.